Once upon a time in a forest lived Milas and his elder sister Naomi with their father and Mukis. They had a beautiful house and a big garden filled with a lot of flowers and plants. They also had a lot of lights in their house and in the garden. Milas and Naomi loved to play there. One day, Naomi was playing with her unicorn in the garden and saw Milas standing at the door thinking about something. She went to him and asked if he wanted to play with her.
I would like to play, but as you can see, it's evening now and it's getting darker. I want to turn on the lights in the garden myself.
Milas said. Naomi, remember, their father have told them not to touch wires and switches themselves because it could be dangerous for them and they can get hurt.
It's only adults who can turn the light on and off and touch the wires,
she said to Milas.
Milas knew he should not turn on the lights by himself, but he really wanted to do it. He had done it before and nothing bad had happened.
It will be fun to turn on the lights myself,
he said. So he moved his hand to turn on the switch, but as his hand was about to touch the button, a fairy appeared and said to Milas,
Dear Milas, you should not do this. Switches and wires can be very colorful, but they are not toys for kids. It's only adults who should turn the lights on and off and touch wires. You can get hurt.
But Milas touched the button. As soon as he did, he heard a loud bang and he felt himself shrinking, smaller and smaller and smaller. As he was shrinking himself, everything around him grew bigger and bigger for him. Plants, flowers, pots, and leaves, everything was so super big. He could not understand what happened, and he got scared and started calling his father, Mukis, Naomi, and the fairy who had disappeared now, for help. But no one was able to hear poor Milas, because he was shrinked into the size of an ant, and we can't hear ants talking to each other. Naomi could not understand where Milas had disappeared and started calling for help. The dad and Mukis came outside and they all started to look around to find Milas. But no one was able to see Milas, who was now as big as an ant. All of a sudden, Milas saw a few big ants who were looking for food and were very hungry. And they were coming right towards him. Milas tried to hide, but they saw him and they started running after him to catch and make him their lunch. Milas ran as fast as he could, but he could not run as fast as ants. And they cornered him and started talking about how they wanted to eat his fingers, hands, arms, and legs. Milas was very afraid and started crying. Suddenly, the fairy appeared again and said to Milas, You did not listen to your dad, me, or other adults and wanted to touch wires and turn on lights yourself. If you promise to not do it ever again, I will help you. Milas really regretted not listening to his parents and other adults, so he promised the fairy. The fairy moved her magic wand and all of a sudden Milas was of normal size again. Milas ran to his dad and Mukis and gave them a hug, and told them what happened and promised him that he will always listen to the adults. Naomi, the dad and Mukis were very happy to find Milas and to hear his promise. From then on, Milas never touched the wires or buttons and always called his father or other adults to help him, because he did not want to turn to an ant-sized kid.